Fill the Food Bank Special, live across Canada on your local Shaw TV channel and on Shaw Direct Channel 299.
An overcast afternoon here on the west coast of Canada. Yes, we are coming to you live from Vancouver. Hello and welcome to our Fill the Food Bank Special.
For the next 4 hours, we're going to connect you to all of the great work that food banks are doing right across the country.
Yes, this is part of Shaw's Together is Amazing initiative. We want to use our collective power, yours and ours, to do some amazing things for our communities.
Together is Amazing is not just something we're saying, it is something we are doing. Since our goal to fill the food banks began on September the 20th, with your help, we have collected more than 1 million pounds of food.
Amazing, and it gets better because Shaw will match the food collected up to 350,000 pounds and Campbell's will match up to 300,000 pounds.
And there have been many incredible stories along the way, including a $10,000 personal donation, a large cargo van that was donated, and many incredible community efforts to raise food through hockey games, schools, and grocery stores.
Why is it important to help the food bank? 37% of those helped through food banks are children and youth.
49% of assisted households are families with children, and there has been an 18% increase in demand for our food banks over the past 3 years.
Today we're going to have stories from food banks right across the country, and we're going to meet people from more than 20 different food banks.
We're also going to have many knowledgeable guests in the studio live to talk about the food banks and to let us know more about their effort. With more on that, let's go over to Johanna Ward, who is joining us in studio. Johanna?
Thanks, guys. I'm sure today is going to be super inspiring. My role is to talk to directors and volunteers from food banks right across the country so that we can get a real sense, like an intimate sense of what the need is in the small towns and in our bigger cities. And I'm also going to be talking to people about some of the more creative fundraisers and food raisers that have got us to our goal and where we are today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Johanna. Another way we are going to connect you with the effort of food banks is by receiving your online messages. Bianca Solterbeck is here to explain more. Bianca?
That's right. We want to hear from you at home. Tell us your personal experiences with the food banks in your communities. Join us on Facebook or send us an email. And over the course of the next 4 hours, I'll be reading out your messages. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bianca. Along with that, we're going to have musical performances from Jim Burns, Delhi to Dublin, and 5 other musical performers. Melanie Panetta is also standing by with interviews from donors, volunteers, and community supporters.
Let's start off with an important look at why we want to fill the food banks.
You're going to go without shoes.
Hold this.
It's another busy day for Maria Hernandez.
Let's go.
She and her neighbor Nikki are off to the food bank for their weekly hamper, plus their tiny bundles package from the Surrey Food Bank.
When you come, you receive your normal hamper as well as all of the nutrition that you need for your little one. If you're nursing or you're pregnant, we'll give you milk and eggs as well as your other hamper items. If you are not nursing and your baby needs formula, you'll get a full supply, a full week of formula for your little one.
You get formula, diapers, food, cereal, wipes, bread.
And on I'm on income assistance now, it's just you can't afford that week to week because you do one big grocery shop and you don't know if it's going to last.
Tiny Bundles helps between 130 and 180 babies and their families at any given time. Families with newborns get a gift pack when they start the program and continued support until baby turns 1.
Lots of mothers that we don't have that enough support and we don't have the school or whatever, you know, and so it is very good. It's a really, really good program. I come every week. I never miss it.
And while they are supported by food bank donors, Tiny Bundles is an expensive program.
We're spending about $120,000 a year just to make sure that we always have formula on our shelf. It's been proven that if a child doesn't receive the adequate nutrition that they need, they will grow up, have difficulty learning in school. They'll be compromised with health issues, growth may be stunted. We don't think of feeding babies, we think of starting life and starting it the right way.
I think that's carrots, peas.
Garden vegetables.
I'm Erin Shaw in Surrey for Shaw TV.
See, this is what I do. I just pack it. I have formula everywhere.
Thank you to Aaron Shaw for that story. And joining us now in studio to talk a little bit more about the Tiny Bundles program is Candace Davidson from the Surrey Food Bank Society.
Candace, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Tell us, how long has this program, Tiny Bundles, been up and running in Surrey?
This program's been running about 8 or 9 years, and it started basically, we realized the need to support nutritionally moms who are pregnant, and especially that first year of life is so important that those little ones get the nutrition that they need. And we have about between 170 and 200 moms visiting us every week.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. And maybe you can just tell us a few more words about why people should get involved with the food banks.
Food banks started basically as a temporary solution, but it's now really an essential service in any community. So many people are just one paycheck away from being in that food bank line. Often people have misconceptions on who visits the food bank, but it's people just like you and I. It's our neighbors, it's our own family members.
And tell us a little bit more about the work that goes on in Surrey, because this is a huge geographic area in Canada as well.
It is. We support about 15,000 people per month.
Wow.
And 43% of that are children.
Wow.
And it's, as I said, it's not what more people think who comes to the food bank. It's seniors, it's people on disability, it's single parents, it's people who are working but just not able to make the ends meet on minimum wage.
So every little bit does help. Thank you so much, Candace, for all the work that you do. And right now we're going to go over to Johanna Ward, who has another very special guest standing by with her.
Thanks, guys. Joining me in studio is Cheryl Carline, the CEO of the Greater Vancouver Food Bank. Thank you so much for coming down today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, this is such an important initiative to us, the Fill the Food Banks, and it is amazing to me that the Greater Vancouver Food Bank, a temporary solution back in the early 80s.
I know, and nothing temporary about it now, unfortunately. No. It's here to stay, but good luck for a lot of people.
Well, obviously it's important that it's there. So who are you serving now? Is something, I mean, it's obviously in the thousands.
It is. 25,000 people each and every week use our services. So it's a lot of people and a lot of food.
And it's quite a reach too. So it's not just in Vancouver, and we're not just talking like downtown East Side. I mean, you're serving communities.
That's right. We have 5 catchment areas: Vancouver, Burnaby, New West, and North and West Vancouver. And that's just the Greater Vancouver Food Bank alone. So.
Wow. To be eligible at the Greater Vancouver Food Bank, can anybody come in and use the services?
Anybody can come in. You know, if you're going to stand for 2 hours in the rain in November in Vancouver for some food, we think you're hungry and you deserve to get something.
So your experience, you've been involved with Food Banks BC, you've been involved with Food Banks Canada, you've been involved with initiatives concerning homelessness and child issues. From your perspective, what's going on? Why is the need growing so much?
You know, the need is growing because in a place like Vancouver, we still have a housing problem. You know, most of what people make each and every month goes to support housing. And until we sort of get a handle on that, I think there are going to be some very hard choices for people to make between rent and food, or mortgage and food.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stunning, isn't it? Because you think we shouldn't have to decide between those things. I mean, food should be a basic.
It should be
and
a basic.
roof over our houses.
Well, it should, and there are lots of parents who have very difficult decisions to make. You know, we need to keep children healthy. We need to give them nutritious food, and those items are very expensive. Tuna, peanut butter, all the great things I see here on set today. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah. And those are the things you need the most. What about monetary donations, and what's the buying power you have with that?
Right. Well, cash is always good. And it's this time of year that we really rely on the generosity of the public. So for every dollar that is donated to Greater Vancouver Food Bank, we can purchase $3 worth of food. So that goes a long way. So even $1 buys many cans, it buys a couple cans of food, but $3 buys even more.
And who's mostly using those services then? If anyone can use it in the Greater Vancouver Food Bank, but it's not just anyone. I mean, you've got a variety of clients.
Well, that's exactly right. It's not who you think. Typically, it's not just someone who perhaps is homeless or pushing a shopping cart. It could be your neighbor, someone at your school, employed British Columbians who have a hard time making it on minimum wage. It could be anybody. You could be one paycheck away from being in our line, but we're here to help you, and events like this really go a long way to help us out.
Events like this obviously increase the optimism for you working with this day in, day out. How do you stay optimistic, and how do you deal with what you're faced with every day?
Well, it's hard to get down. I mean, take a look around. We have lots of food here and great companies like Shaw, and together we are amazing. So, I mean, it's a great time all the way around. How could we feel anything but grateful?
I guess that's the thing, right? As long as we all keep working together, and those of us that maybe are a little more fortunate, helping those that aren't, and moving forward that way.
Absolutely. I mean, together we'll make it happen, and so far we've been here, and we'll probably be here for a while.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. We're going to send it back to Mike and Fiona.
Thank you, Johanna. Thank you, Cheryl. And Johanna will be back later in the hour with more in-studio guests as well.
Also coming up later in the hour, we're going to read your messages. So go online to the website togetherisamazing.com and it'll link you to our Facebook page.
We want to know how the food bank has made a difference in your life, or maybe how you have helped out the food bank.
On the website, you can also make a donation. You heard how far your dollars can go. And if you cannot find the food bank on the website, then visit one of the food bank associations that we're listing at the bottom of our screen.
Next, we have a musical performance for you today.
Inspired by the likes of Jimi Hendrix, Carlos Santana, Stevie Ray Vaughan, brothers Sam and Luke are self-taught singers, songwriters, and guitarists who started playing and writing music 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's put this into perspective. These guys are in their teens.
Starting with local talent shows, the brothers have gone on to play stages from Vancouver to Nashville. They just actually returned from Nashville, where they recorded their debut CD of original tunes with 7-time Juno Award-winning and Grammy-nominated Canadian producer, Mr. Colin Linden.
Here they are with a performance off their new CD. Here are Sam and Luke. Take it away, guys.
Every month, approximately 800,000 Canadians benefit from the food banks in Canada. Nearly 300,000 of them are children. No one should go hungry. Please donate generously.
It's true, I've forgotten what it's like to be with you. I've been alone so many nights. I've forgotten what it's like to be alive. I've been alone, I can feel it in my bones. It kind of on me to find the time to find a place to call my home. Alone, alone, alone. I've been alone for so long. I can tell the difference between right and wrong. I've been alone, no, it's not alright. The time passes slowly into the daylight. I've been alone, and it's killing me that I can't remember your face, so it could be the last thing that I see. Alone, alone, alone. Yesterday I seen a light. Hope that I will find my mind the strength to look inside myself, for courage to ask somebody else to help. I'm down on my knees, want somebody to rescue me, and I guess I should have always known a lonely life will end alone. Alone, alone, alone. Yesterday I seen a light. I hope that I will find my mind the strength to look inside myself, for courage to ask somebody else to help. I'm down on my knees, want somebody to rescue me, and I guess I should have always known a lonely life will end alone. Alone.
Thanks so much, guys. We'll have have more performances coming up later in our program, including Delhi to Dublin, Aliqua, and Mr. Jim Burns.
This is Shaw TV's Fill the Food Bank special. We are asking for your help and support to raise awareness, funds, and food for food banks across Canada.
If you are in the Metro Vancouver area, you can help us fill our studio. Our staff has collected food, and we've been helped by Campbell's and Safeway, and we want to fill this studio and deliver to local food banks today.